the cameras flashed, the crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. Usually when we talk about a moment that breaks the internet, we are talking about a major scandal.
Right, like an affair or a crime.
Exactly,
Yeah.
something that ends a career in an absolute heartbeat. But this week's deep dive is based on a headline that is just wild. He did this on camera, and Selena defended it.
And this we're talking about wasn't a leaked tape or heated argument. It was literally a pair of bare feet and a microphone.
And the internet didn't just break, it gagged.
It sounds completely ridiculous when you say it out loud, but in the curated world of celebrity branding, this was practically a nuclear event. Because while fans were literally demanding a divorce, the pop princess wife in question didn't flinch. She actually doubled down.
Which brings us to the question everyone is asking. Hollywood loves a bad boy, but does it love this? Welcome to Starscope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Today, our mission is to unpack the viral storm surrounding Benny Blanco's new podcast debut.
We are getting into the hygiene controversy that has fans spiraling, and specifically, Selena Gomez's fierce defense of her husband.
I have been dying to talk about this because my timeline has been nothing but zoom-ins on feet for the last 48 hours.
I know, it is inescapable right now.
So let's start with the crime scene. This all went down on Wednesday, February 24th, 2026.
Right. Benny Blanco, who is obviously a massive hit maker and husband to arguably the most famous woman on the planet, decides to launch a show.
Right, and it is called Friends Keep Secrets.
Yes, he is co-hosting it with Dave Bird, who you probably know as Lil Dicky and Kristen Badalucco.
Now, before we get to the visuals, context is key here.
It really is. Benny did an interview with The Hollywood Reporter leading up to this debut. He kept emphasizing that this show was going to be completely unfiltered.
He wanted a fly-on-the-wall vibe.
Exactly. He explicitly said the visual element was where the show would shine.
Oh, it's shown, but like a grease stain shines.
That is an incredibly accurate description.
So picture the set. It is casual, couches and relaxed lighting. Benny is lounging.
And you don't mean just sitting.
No, I mean fully horizontal, sprawling on the couch. He is barefoot.
Which is already a choice.
Right, and he decides to prop his legs up in a way that the soles of his feet are facing directly into the high-definition camera lens.
And this is where the unfiltered promise really delivered.
Because these weren't just bare feet, they were seasoned.
Seasoned is a very polite way to put it.
I saw the screenshots before I watched the clip, and I genuinely thought it was a shadow.
But it wasn't. The soles of his feet were described by pretty much every major outlet as blackened.
Black and filthy.
Covered in what looked like street soot.
It wasn't just walking around the house without slippers.
No, it looked like he had walked to the studio, through Los Angeles, without shoes, and then hopped immediately onto the furniture.
It was so visceral, you could practically feel the grit through the screen.
And look, I think there is a baseline level of cleanliness you expect when someone puts a body part on camera.
But wait, because the feet were just the visual appetizer?
I know where you are going with this.
I still can't believe this happened. So in the middle of the conversation, Benny pauses.
He looks at his co-hosts.
And he says, wait, see if you guys could pick this up.
And he leans into the microphone.
He essentially used thousands of dollars of high-end audio equipment to capture a bodily function in 4K audio.
He farted loudly into the mic.
And he was proud of it. He was checking the levels on it.
It is the combination that really set people off.
If it had just been the feet, maybe people would have made jokes about him being a hippie.
Or if it was just the fart, maybe it is just frat boy humor.
But the combination of the visual grime and the auditory shock created this massive sensory overload of disgust.
The public reaction wasn't just finding it annoying, it was immediate recoil.
Recoil is the perfect word. I was reading the comments on X, or formerly Twitter, and people were genuinely angry.
It wasn't just laughing it off.
No, it was people saying, I am horrified, with caps lock on.
People were writing things like, bro needs to take a shower immediately.
And why is he like this? It felt like a personal offense to the viewers.
And this is where the fandom dynamics get really interesting. You have the Selenators, who are Selena Gomez's massive and fiercely protective fan base.
They didn't just attack Benny. They panicked for Selena.
Yes, I saw phrases trending that were brutal.
Find someone better was trending. They were tagging her like it was an intervention.
They view her as this ethereal, polished pop icon. Seeing her attached to this specific brand of messiness creates a huge cognitive dissonance for them.
But you know what is funny? The internet always finds a way to turn horror into metrics.
Are you bringing up WikiFeet?
Yes, I am. For anyone unaware, it is a database where people rate celebrity feet.
And Benny made his debut.
Someone uploaded the screenshots from the podcast, and I checked this morning. He is currently holding a solid 3 out of 5 stars.
A 3 out of 5 implies that fundamentally, the structure of the foot is sound, even if the hygiene is questionable.
Which, honestly, considering they were described as blackened, a 3 feels incredibly generous. That is a passing grade.
But jokes aside, that 3 out of 5 is the only lukewarm reaction in a sea of outrage. This speaks to a massive disconnect.
Benny thinks this is funny. He thinks gross-out humor makes him relatable.
But the public, and specifically Selena's public, expects the husband of a beauty mogul to be clean.
Exactly. You can't be the face of rare beauty and come home to that. Or at least that is what we thought.
But if you think dirty feet are the only hygiene issue here, buckle up.
Because later in the deep dive, we are going to talk about what Benny actually wants to smell like.
Oh, the scent profile. That explains so much.
But before we get to the smell, we have to talk about Selena. Because any normal PR team would have seen blackened feet trending and panicked.
They would have said, okay, Benny, time for a pedicure and a public apology.
Or at least lay low for a week.
Right. That is standard crisis management. Hide the problem and polish the image.
But Selena Gomez did the complete opposite.
She went full stand by your man. And she didn't wait either.
This was yesterday, February 25th. The podcast dropped Tuesday. The internet exploded Wednesday. And by Thursday, she is posting.
And look at the content of the post. It wasn't a PR statement.
There wasn't a text post saying to leave him alone. It was an Instagram story video of them kissing.
In a garden. It looked like a scene from a romance novel.
The setting is crucial. It is soft and natural and romantic.
It is the complete antithesis of the podcast studio with the dirty feed.
But the caption is where the real strategy lies. She wrote, "I fall more and more in love with you every day, my love."
She sees the internet screaming that he is gross, and she responds with loving him more every day. That is a bold move.
It is a strategic move that analysts call brand shielding, but she is flipping it.
Usually brand shielding involves distancing yourself from the controversy.
Here she is pulling the controversy in and wrapping it in romance.
By publicly affirming her love right at the peak of the backlash, she is signaling that his raw nature is exactly what she wants.
She is completely rejecting the public's demand for a polished partner.
But you have to wonder if that is risky for a brand like hers.
That ties into the status contamination theory, doesn't it?
Yes, status contamination is a sociological concept. Basically, it is the idea that high-status individuals like Selena can lose their perceived value if they associate too closely with low-status markers.
In this case, dirt and bad hygiene are the low-status markers.
The fans are worried that his grime will rub off on her shine.
It is like wearing a tuxedo to a mud wrestling match. You are worried the tux is going to get ruined.
Precisely. The fans feel a sense of ownership over her dignity. They want her partner to reflect her status.
When he doesn't, and he is the guy farting on a couch, they feel embarrassed for her.
They feel like her brand is being contaminated.
But she doesn't seem to care at all. In fact, this isn't the first time, is it?
No. There is a pattern of her defending him against this exact kind of criticism.
If we go back to 2023, when they first went public, the reaction was very similar.
People were calling him unhandsome and mid.
And Selena was in the Instagram comments fighting like a gladiator.
She replied to people saying he is absolute everything in my heart.
And this is the kicker. She said he is better than anyone I have ever been with.
That line always gets me. Considering she dated Justin Bieber in The Weeknd, that is a heavy statement.
It really is. And it feeds into what pop culture analysts call the Beauty and the Beast trope.
Communities like FOMOI on Reddit are obsessed with this narrative.
They frame it as the beautiful princess who is degrading herself by being with the beast.
But Selena's rewriting that. She's saying the beast is actually better than the prince.
Which is romantic, sure. But we have to get back to the reality of the hygiene, because this isn't just an aesthetic.
The dirty feet weren't an accident. They seem to be a deliberate lifestyle choice.
And this is where we uncover the shocking twist nobody saw coming. Why were his feet black? Is he just lazy?
It is not laziness. It's an actual philosophy.
To understand it, we have to look at a source from People magazine back in November 2024.
Betty gave an interview where he admitted he doesn't shower every day.
Okay, lots of people skip a day here and there, but he had a specific reason, didn't he?
He did, and I want you to brace yourself for this phrasing. He said, and I quote, "I feel like the oils on your skin don't have time to rejuvenate and get juicy."
Stop! He did not say juicy.
He absolutely said juicy.
He wants his skin oils to get juicy, like a steak. That is wildly upsetting.
It implies a process of marinating, doesn't it?
It sounds like he is aging himself like a fine cheese.
But surely, if you are letting your oils get juicy, you start to smell.
And not in a good way. But he has a plan for that too.
He described his goal scent. He wants to have a specific aroma when he walks by people.
Please tell me it is soap.
It is not soap. He wants to smell like a mix of tobacco and cotton candy.
Tobacco and cotton candy. So, a carnival worker on a smoke break, that is the vibe.
It is certainly a complex palate. He wants that mix of masculine grit from the tobacco and playful sweetness from the cotton candy.
But here is the flaw in the logic. When you combine not showering and juicy oils with heavy tobacco scents, you rarely get the sweet cotton candy note.
You mostly just get musk.
It is sensory chaos. And yet Selena Gomez, the woman who sells millions of dollars of perfume and body mists, is seemingly into it.
Or at least she tolerates it. And I think we have to look past the smell to understand why.
Because despite the juicy oils and the feet, they literally just got married recently.
Right. They had that huge wedding in September 2025. Ralph Lauren dresses, a garden setting, and Mrs. Levin balloons.
It was the height of elegance. The wedding didn't look dirty. It looked perfect.
So clearly she can clean them up when it matters. But why does she put up with the day-to-day grime?
I think the answer lies in a story they told on Chef's Table. It really shifted my perspective on them.
Benny talked about coming home one day completely exhausted from moving boxes and dealing with wedding prep.
Now, in their dynamic, Benny is usually the doer. He locks the doors, he feeds the dogs, he handles the logistics.
Which is interesting because usually the messy partner is also the lazy partner.
Yeah.
But he is actually the one keeping the household running.
Exactly. But this one night, he was too tired. He couldn't do it, and he was stressing out about it.
And Selena just looked at him and said, "I gotcha."
I got you. And she handled it without keeping score or nagging.
Betty said that moment meant everything to him because it wasn't transactional. It was a true partnership.
That connects back to what Selena told Jay Shetty on his podcast, On Purpose.
She talked about feeling safe and feeling like part of a unit.
That is the key word, safety. We have to remember Selena has been famous since she was a child.
She has been in relationships that were volatile and highly scrutinized and, frankly, performative.
Benny provides a sanctuary. He provides a space where she doesn't have to be Selena Gomez, the icon.
You could just be Selena. So if the price of that emotional safety is a husband who sometimes smells like tobacco and has dirty feet, she is willing to pay it.
It is a trade-off. It is emotional hygiene versus physical hygiene.
She values the emotional cleanliness of the relationship, the lack of games and toxicity, more than she values the physical cleanliness of his feet.
That is actually really profound. I guess I would rather have a guy with dirty feet who treats me like a queen than a guy in a pristine suit who treats me like garbage.
That is the calculation she is making, and it seems to be working for them.
If you are loving these Hollywood twists and want to know if Benny ever actually buys a pair of socks, make sure you are subscribed.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button because we have got even crazier stories ahead, and you don't want to miss what is coming next.
But we cannot wrap up without talking about the business side, because love is great, but money is money.
Can rare beauty really coexist with dirty feet? That is the billion-dollar question.
Rare beauty is all about aesthetic. It is clean and aspirational with soft pinks and golds.
And Benny is building a brand on being unfiltered and, let's be honest, gross out funny.
It is a massive brand clash. And Friends Keep Secrets isn't just a hobby, it is a business venture.
He is booking A-list guests, Ed Sheeran and Paul Rudd, for example.
Can you imagine Paul Rudd, who hasn't aged in 30 years, sitting next to those feet?
That is a visual I cannot shake. And it raises a question. Will Benny have to clean up his act to keep the show viable for that caliber of guest?
Or, and this is the alternative, is the controversy the point?
You think the grossness is the strategy?
Think about it. We are talking about it. The entire internet is talking about it.
In a crowded market, maybe gross-out humor is his differentiator. Maybe he wants to be the anti-polished host.
Attention is currency, even if the attention is people yelling at you to take a shower.
Exactly. But there is a limit, and I think we saw a glimpse of Selena managing that limit recently.
Oh, you mean the TikTok with the eyebrows?
Yes, the transformation.
Yeah.
Benny recently posted a video of Selena tweezing his unibrow.
It was such a telling moment. She is holding the tweezers, and she is focused, and she says to the camera, "Do it light because I love him."
Because I love him. It is sweet. But she is also literally grooming him. She's removing the hair connecting his eyebrows.
She is grooming him, but on her terms, it humanizes the beast, so to speak.
It shows the world that, yes, he is messy, but look, I am taking care of it.
It is a very savvy way to bridge that gap between her polished world and his messy one.
It is like she is saying, I accept him unibrow and all, but I am going to help him look a little better so he doesn't scare the shareholders.
Precisely. It is a dynamic that works for them, even if it baffles the outside world.
She gets the safety and the juicy authenticity, and he gets groomed by Selena Gomez.
Not a bad deal for him, honestly. So what does this all mean for the future?
Do we think this backlash is going to change anything?
I doubt it. I think Benny's brand is rooted in this rebellion against polish.
And Selena's defense of him is rooted in her rebellion against the expectations placed on her.
They are rebellious together, one with dirty feet and one with a billion-dollar makeup company. It is a modern love story.
It leaves you with a lot to think about regarding what we expect from our celebrities. We say we demand authenticity.
We say we want stars to be real and relatable. We scream for no filter.
But when we actually get it, in the form of dirty feet and bodily functions and skipping showers, we recoil.
We realize that maybe we didn't want real reality. We wanted curated reality.
We want the no-makeup selfie that actually took an hour to light and edit. We don't want the actual unwashed oils.
Exactly. So we will leave you with this final thought.
Is Benny Blanco actually the most authentic celebrity right now because he refuses to play the game? Is he the only honest one?
Or is he just the messiest? And does it even matter if his wife is happy?
That is something for you to mull over the next time you're debating whether or not to scrub your feet in the shower.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.